grab your McMuffin, pour some oatmeal, brew some tea, or grab a coffee, whatever you need. We have exciting CUFLA action breakfast at Bishop's. I'm Stephen Stamp with Sawyer Brock. There's 12 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Trent Excalibur lead the Brock Badgers 5-4. Exactly where we stood last night when the power, poof, went out. And we had, there was a lot of meetings, a lot of figuring out how to resume this game. The logistics are much trickier than you think, but what it comes down to is we're continuing right now with the ball in the stick of Matt Smith for Brock, and Trent leading by 1 goal. And Matt, what do you see happening this morning?
To be honest, I think Brock's going to be kind of happy with how things worked out, even though it was a little mess up of last night. The kind of destroyed Trent's flow as they were getting into it last night, and Brock's going to have an opportunity to come back and kind of show their dominance on the field and get ahead of Trent before Trent can do anything.
Yeah, and I think, to me, if I'm Trent's coach, Jeff McKinley, I'm telling the guys, hey, we've been great for half a game all year. We've been competitive with teams all season. This is half a game. Let's just come out and play a great first half again, and we're laughing.
Yeah, that's exactly how they're going to look at it, especially because they played such a great first half of lacrosse yesterday.
Oh, they were fantastic.
They can just put the exact same momentum into this game, and they should have no problem trumping Brock.
Yeah, right now, Brock probing, taking their time. Brandon Slade gets the ball back. They cut into the crease, wide open. Matt Smith buries it. He started with the ball, and he starts the third quarter resumption with a goal to tie it up for Brock. Worst case scenario for Trent, great momentum boost just under a minute in for the Brock Badgers.
But we got to remember, Stephen, the same thing happened last night when Brock scored a quick goal, and then Trent was able to come back down and take the momentum back from them and get themselves ahead. So
very true.
Hopefully here today they're gonna want to just not let that goal get to them and really just try and push back, win this face-off, and kind of get a little pressure in their offensive zone.
Lining up for the face-off. All right, we're back underway in another face-off win. Nico Baudouin is an all-Canadian face-off specialist. He also has a bunch of points this year. He's been playing very well for Brock, and he's given them possession again, which really was the key story in Brock turning it around from a 4-1 deficit late in the first half and into the third quarter. Yes, Grayson Houghton. I was saying Matt Smith because I was looking at the Trent roster instead of the Brock roster. There's it's new for us too. Being here till I know I was here till about midnight with the CUFLA executive and the coaches and the referees, all trying to figure out the details. Some of the things that go into it, things like bus drivers can only drive for so long. They had to have their teams back to the hotel by a certain time, or they couldn't move the bus again. So the teams had to leave, and then the Trent bus driver couldn't start again for 9 hours. It's a union regulation. Great save by Kyle Holton. But they're going to have an off-ball push, and Brock will get it back immediately. And, boy, yesterday everything seemed to be going in Trent's favor. Today, already in just a few minutes, the break's going with Brock.
Yeah, Holton showed a big stop there, right there for his first save of the game, and kind of the exact same way he was playing yesterday, and then they're able to come back and score another quick one.
Boy, and that's, if you're Trent, that's kind of your worst-case scenario again. Like you're hoping that it will be okay, that you can come out and get your game going the way you did yesterday, but you're facing a Brock team that they're a young team, but they do have 10 guys who are back, who have been at this tournament, who have been playing at high levels, and it's just that experience seems to be coming through, even though, as we mentioned yesterday, they have 19 new players, 19 rookies on this team. They also have a 6-5 lead.
Yeah, and now with Grayson Houghton, his second goal of the day, he's going to be fired up, and he's going to be looking for another one for sure.
Trent almost had the ball there. Nick Andrioli couldn't quite get it, and it's scooped up and passed to the goalie for Brock, who is not the goalie we were watching yesterday. Alex Guinea has come in, the backup, or the co-number one, I suppose you could say, for Brock, and he's going to be out there and not sure what the thinking was. Justin Kennedy, the coach, didn't share his thought process, didn't tell us that he was making the switch. Of course, didn't have a lot of time to chat this morning. Things were all a little bit rushed. It's a very unusual circumstance for these teams, and obviously so far Brock is responding much better than Trent is.
I think part of the reason they might have switched the goalie and just give Wood a little bit of a break. He had a bit of a rough first half last night, and they maybe just give him a little break and have have their backup come in and take over for them today. And if they can get the win, then they can start Wood later on today at 5.
And there's Connor Ham once again. We saw a very similar goal last night to help Brock get back into it, and he gets one this morning as they start to pull away. And this is kind of unbelievable. Trent was playing so well last night, was showing that they can compete, was playing exceptional across, retaining possession, doing so many good things, making smart decisions, and now Brock is just running around the field with total control and have scored 3 goals in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and we were talking yesterday that we were waiting for Brock to come out and show their scoring and show they in the regular season they had 171 goals for, so they're showing us today how they ended up with that.
Trent finally gets possession of the ball.
And there's a nice flag on the play, so afterwards they're going to get a nice man advantage.
Yeah, so that'd be a big boon to them to try and get things rolling. Travis Ferguson's going to throw it down low. Danny Mickle trying to dodge his way out. Watched carefully by Cole Martin. Mickle's going to throw it up top, and Josh Gilray gives it back to him. Those two played for a while with the Peterborough Lakers Junior A Club, and there's an open man and a shot and a goal. Ryan Gunn, who got Trent's first goal last night, I believe, gets their first one today as well, and that's a great response for the Excalibur.
Yeah, that's huge. Gunn's putting the team on his back a little bit there, and he's really trying to bring some momentum back to his team after getting scored on 3 times, so it's a good answer for them.
So the game last night, both games actually, the Bishops win over Guelph was low scoring, 6-5, a real chess match and kind of a bit of a slow pace. Last night, this was a bit of a feeling out process too. It wasn't super high scoring. This morning, the movement on the offenses and the way they're going is clearly working out. It's like in the spring, at spring training and for pitching, they always say, as the season's starting, who has the advantage early, the pitchers or the batters? And a lot of times, it's the offensive guys as the pitchers work out the kinks. Same thing here. It seems to be the offense that's getting cohesive and working right away this morning early, while the defenses are struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they're moving really quick this morning past a potentially tired and probably a bit cold defense, and the defense just got to remember to keep their feet moving because the offense on both sides is coming down fast.
Yeah. What a response for Trent. They're going to get the ball back here. Johnny Lynch, who's been having an excellent game for Trent. I was going to say an excellent tournament because it feels like we've been here for a while now. For those of you who are wondering, if you've just seen the post on Twitter or noticed the news that we're playing this morning, it's because there was a power outage, 12:10 to go in the third quarter. Boom, the power to all of Lennoxville went out. A tree landed on a power line. There's Gunn. He's going to let it rip again. He scores again, a bouncer this time. And I'll tell you, you always, as an announcer, you want to see an exciting game. You want to see a close game. When Brock scored those 3 goals, I was worried that was it for Trent. They'd lost their mojo. They have made a great response here, and you can see how excited they are over on the sideline.
Yeah, and they got to keep that hype. They came into that last night with the game. They were louder than Brock last night to start it off, and they're definitely more fired up and excited to be here. So they're showing that now and kind of getting the momentum back, and hopefully they want to draw off of what they had last night.
Speaking of draws, it would be huge for them if Travis Ferguson could win this draw, but Nico Baudouin is awfully good. And Baudouin again clamps down, gets his stick on the ball, pulls it out to himself, but it's knocked down. Ooh. Great play by Brandon Armstrong, the long pole, and Trent gets possession. And boy, that's big. If you can't win the draws, which not many people can against Baudouin, a play like that certainly helps.
Yeah.
Zabols has the ball now. He's going to throw it back up top, and Garrett Eddy, who was brilliant last night. We haven't really seen him yet this morning. I like breakfast at Bishop's. I was thinking breakfast in Lennoxville. I don't know.
Breakfast at Bishop's rolls off the tongue
breakfast
nicely.
At Bishop's sounds pretty good.
Makes you want to be at the games this morning.
Yeah. Well, it's turned into a pretty it was an exciting game. It's resuming as an exciting game after it looked like Brock might start to run away. Trent has battled right back into it. They're going to slow things down a little bit. That's one of the things they want to possess the ball, make Brock play defense. That was one advantage I felt like Trent had last night, was that they had possessed the ball so much in the first half that Brock's D had played a lot. There's a shot by Zabols. That's grabbed by Guinea. And he just hangs on to it with Nick Andrioli lurking at the edge of the crease waiting for the ball to pop out. But, they lose that edge of having tired out Brock because everyone gets a rest. At the same time, their offense, which worked a lot, gets to be rested and ready to go.
Well, Trent's offensive players, they're so fast, and to be honest, even last night and a little bit into this morning, they're able to outrun the Brock defenders. So if they can get the wheels moving, then they can get past the defenders and make a good play.
Well, it's the quickness. It's just the first few steps where that's really the key, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you see Zabolz and Garrett Eddy, lightning fast feet. I mean, he's fast too. He can go on for distances, but you can see Zabolz. I don't know how fast he is in 100 meters, but boy, for 5 meters, he can go.
Yeah, he just has that explosive first 3 steps.
Yeah. Saw it last night in the one goal he scored where he just darted out and received the pass from Eddy right as he arrived at the top of the formation. And like you mentioned, the ball was in and out of the stick almost immediately. One step to set it up and let it go. Now Brock slowing things down a little bit as Matt Boris takes his time. He's watched by Cameron Page. Oh, he slips by him. Pass across is dropped. And I'll tell you, Nick Karam, who already has a couple of goals, is going to be kicking himself as he heads off to the side of the field. I'm just going to keep an eye on him because he was wide open with a yawning cage and just dropped the ball.
Yeah, that's too bad. Good break for the Trent goalie there, though.
Speaking of which, Holton has the ball, makes the outlet pass. Nice little short passing game for Trent. And Page is going to just move into some empty space. Gives it off to Wainman. Nick Andrioli down to Travis Ferguson. Andrioli, Ferguson, and Wainman, all useful components of this offense, but it's really on the far side with Garrett Eddy and Travis Zabolz. And actually Ryan Gunn with a couple of goals today. That's where they seem to be creating most of the chances, or at least finishing most of the chances. Certainly the guys on this side helping out to create space. Here's a drive by Josh Gilray. He's going to be turned aside fairly easily. Cole Martin well out near the boundary, but Gilray's going to set himself up for a little run. Gets some momentum and then stops himself. I got to admit, that's one thing I don't get. You run into the corner to set up the speed dodge, then you run in, plant, and spin. You've just negated what you just did for the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, just
I'm sure there's a rationale. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's also partly waste a little bit of time here in this third quarter and move it into the last quarter of the game.
Stall warning is on, but we're into the final 20 seconds here of the third quarter. Trent looking to get a shot. They do. It's going to be closest to who gets this, and it's Brock Ball. Nice positioning by Colton DeWolf. That is going to be what gets them possession of this ball for the final 6 seconds. And Alex Skinny's not going anywhere. He's just going to stand behind his net until the time expires. Smart play, but great positioning by DeWolf to negate what would have been a last chance effort by the Excalibur. And we're going to go into the fourth quarter. Well, we got here quick. But it's 7-7. Very exciting. I'm Steven Stamp with Sawyer Brock. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. Make sure you come and be with us.